Emma had just stepped into the bathroom when her fingers brushed against an unknown sticky substance. It was thick and slimy. Emma figured it was just some human residue. She didn't think too much of it. After all, this was a well-known social club, and some people had a thing for getting frisky in the restroom. Nothing too shocking around here. Swaying her curvy hips, Emma made her way to the toilet and sat down gracefully. She dragged over a large trash bin and downed her glass of red wine in one gulp. Tonight had been quite the haul. Hidden beneath her dress were 3 wallets, each one fat with cash, and she'd even swiped a pocket watch. She tucked it into her bra, feeling it with her fingers to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Satisfied, she stood up and adjusted her outfit. This was Emma, the siren of every club she entered. With her stunning beauty and killer figure, she never missed a mark. But more than anything, it was her nose that set her apart. She could practically smell money. And right now, the mirror in front of her was giving off a tantalizing aura. If she was right, there was treasure hidden inside. She tugged on the cabinet door beneath the mirror, only to find it locked. That confirmed it. Something valuable had to be behind it. Emma pulled out her tools and began picking the lock, but after just a couple of clicks, she accidentally cut her hand. It wasn't that she was rusty. Something was off about this cabinet, something strange. And the weirder it got, the more interested Emma became. She yanked at the door with all her strength, desperate to see what was inside. But there was something fighting back, some invisible force resisting her pull. She had to use every ounce of strength she had. Then suddenly, from inside the cabinet, something emerged. A creature, octopus-like, with dozens of writhing tentacles. Emma gasped and slammed the door shut, but she didn't dare leave. She was terrified that if she turned her back, those tentacles would reach out and grab her. Holding her breath, she waited until everything went quiet. Only then did she slowly step away from the mirror. She tiptoed toward the exit, but her high heels still made faint tapping sounds on the tile. Then, at the worst possible moment, the pocket watch fell from her bra and hit the ground with a loud clink. The creature stirred. It was too late. Her hand was inches from the doorknob, but the tentacles had already found her, yanking her back toward the cabinet. Emma fought with everything she had, but the monster was too strong. In a horrifying instant, it wrapped around her waist and crushed her spine. Her eyes widened. She took her last breath, and just like that, Emma was dragged into the cabinet. The scent of money she'd followed so confidently, it came from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who died in this very spot. And that sticky liquid near the door? It was the creature's mark, left every time it turned out the lights. Yesterday, Jake was perfectly fine. Today, he was pregnant. His belly was swollen, like a woman 6 months along. Panicked, he rushed to the hospital. The doctor checked again and confirmed it. There was a fetal heartbeat inside him. But how? Jake was a man. The doctor was shaken. He examined Jake thoroughly and confirmed, without a doubt, Jake was biologically male. In his 20 years of practice, he had never seen anything like this. He said he needed to speak with the hospital director right away. Jake, sensing something was wrong, quickly grabbed his medical report. The word pregnant on the page nearly gave him a heart attack. Back home, he downed an entire bottle of pills, desperate to end whatever was growing inside him. But not only did the fetus survive, it did a full somersault inside his belly. Jake doubled over, vomiting uncontrollably. He was at a loss, so he went looking for the one person who could possibly take responsibility, the baby's mother. Last night at a school dance, Jake had met a stunning girl named Sandra. After just 2 minutes of small talk, they'd somehow ended up discussing the origin of life. When Sandra pulled out a raincoat to prepare for the storm, Jake, who loved getting drenched, secretly tossed it aside. He'd done this sort of thing plenty of times, so the next morning, when he saw her number written on the mirror in lipstick, he didn't think much of it. He wiped it off without a second thought. But soon after, he started feeling strange, nauseous, dizzy. His stomach ballooned like an overinflated ball. Panicking, he confirmed the unthinkable. He was pregnant. He scrambled to call Sandra, but with part of the number erased, he had to dial dozens of combinations before finally reaching her an hour later. Afraid she wouldn't believe him, Jake didn't mention the pregnancy right away. He just told her he wanted to hang out that afternoon. Sandra, without hesitation, said sure. As Jake headed downstairs, his rowdy friends caught him. They'd heard he'd added another girl to his collection last night and threw him a whole celebration. But Jake didn't have time for partying. The baby inside him was unnatural. In just a day, his water broke. The birth was coming fast, and Jake couldn't wait another second. He raced to Sandra's house, desperate for help. Strangely enough, Sandra's mom didn't even flinch. She calmly prepared everything for the delivery and said she'd handle it herself. Jake looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. The baby had drained every bit of life from him. When Sandra saw saw him like this, whatever interest she had instantly vanished. She glared at Jake and demanded, "Why didn't you take proper precautions?" Jake was speechless. All he could do was apologize to Sandra. As Jake struggled through labor, Sandra casually planned a date with someone else. Annoyed by Jake's agonized screaming, she covered her ears and walked out. Jake was terrified. He had no idea where the baby would come out of his body. Sandra's mother, however, scoffed. Wherever it went in, that's where it's coming out. Jake did manage to give birth, but the process tore him apart. He died right there on the spot. No one seemed to care. Sandra's mother held the baby in her arms and smiled with delight. She gently laid the baby in the crib and tiptoed out of the room. Because in this place, even the smallest sound could wake up all the children, and that was something no one wanted. Wendell was trying to shove Carol's corpse into a wooden crate, but her long legs just wouldn't fit. Left with no choice, he grabbed a chainsaw to cut them off. He took a deep breath, steadied his hands, and fired up the saw, aiming it at Carol's thighs. It was as if he killed her a second time. Wendell was trembling, but he didn't regret what he'd done. His wife Carol had been sick for years, stuck in a vegetative state. She could open her eyes and sit up, but she couldn't speak. She had no consciousness. Wendell had wished for her death countless times, but the doctor said she might live at least another year. Her condition had drained the family's finances. Wendell had had enough. Sensing his despair, the doctor handed him a bottle of painkillers. One pill relieves pain. More than two, well, you'll go to sleep forever. Wendell was thrilled. That night, he prepared a romantic candlelit dinner for Carol. He wanted her to enjoy one last meal before she left this world. Just in case she could somehow sense what was happening, he even asked her one last time if she understood. Carol gave no response. That was all Wendell needed to see. He took out the pills, 5 of them. Enough to take down 2 bulls, he thought. If that didn't work, nothing would. He carefully placed the pills into her mouth himself, but just as he did, Carol's finger twitched. Wendell whispered an apology, but when he lowered her gently, Carol's head suddenly slammed into the dinner table, right onto the ceramic Arctic hair centerpiece. That blow finally did it. Carol was truly gone. Panicked, Wendell called the doctor and confessed everything that had happened. The doctor told him to find a wooden crate and dump the body in the sea. Let the sharks take care of it. That way, no one would ever find out. Wendell followed the instructions, but Carol's long legs refused to fit. Just as he was about to saw them off, Carol suddenly came back to life. In a panic, Wendell yanked the ceramic hair from her head. Only then did she stop breathing. For real this time. He continued with the job. One leg at a time, he sawed them off, making sure she could fit inside the box. Once finished, he quickly pushed the crate out the door. He planned to take the elevator down, but just then, a burly man appeared outside. Afraid he'd see the blood-stained crate, Wendell slammed the door button and shut the man out. But that didn't mean he was safe. At the 8th floor, the elevator malfunctioned. The buttons stopped responding. Wendell, panic rising, suspected it was Carol's spirit getting revenge. He tried prying the doors open with his bare hands. He screamed in frustration, loud enough to attract the landlord. The landlord went back inside to call for help. Right then, the elevator doors slammed shut. Blood began leaking from the crate, pooling on the floor. No matter how much Wendell wiped, it wouldn't go away. He slipped and fell, soaked in it. In rage and regret, he ripped off his wedding ring and threw it away, and he screamed, "I wish I never married her!" The lid slowly creaked open as if something was crawling its way out. As the elevator plummeted, Wendell saw flashes of the past, how he met Carol, their first date, the vows they exchanged, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. Now it was time to honor those words. Even in death, Carol wouldn't leave him. Like a vengeful spirit rising from her grave, she shoved the wedding ring back onto his finger, then dragged him with her straight to hell. This was no ordinary morgue. Every corpse here had a disturbing story behind it. Montgomery, the morgue keeper, was telling the newcomer, Sam, about the past lives of the bodies stored in these drawers. But Sam wasn't impressed. She said none of the stories scared her, because she had lived through something far more terrifying. Logan, the youngest body in the morgue, was her little brother. Just a week ago, Sam had tucked Logan into bed and gone to the kitchen to cook dinner. But then, breaking news flashed across the TV. An extremely dangerous patient had escaped from a psychiatric hospital that night. Authorities were urging everyone to stay alert. Sam didn't take it seriously, but just as her food was nearly done, a strange man entered her home. Sam fled to the kitchen to find something to defend herself with, but the man followed. His head was covered in blood. He asked if she could help him. He didn't seem hostile, so Sam cautiously approached and started cleaning him up. But just then, the phone rang. The man's expression changed instantly. He told her not to answer it. The caller left a message, and after hearing it, the man's face went pale. Afraid he might snap, Sam shoved his hand into the meat grinder. As he screamed in pain, she grabbed a pan and hit him hard. She went in for another strike, but the man kicked her into the pantry. Luckily, she got back on her feet fast and came out swinging with a kitchen knife. But the man was too strong. She missed, and he knocked her out with a chopping board. Strangely, he didn't hurt her further. Instead, he walked to the phone and began yelling into it. Sam woke up shortly after. She bit down hard on his ear in a desperate struggle. Though her head was spinning, she realized something. The man hadn't been trying to harm her. He was asking, "Where's the child?" Logan was the only child in the house. Sam realized this man wasn't after her. He was trying to protect Logan. She fought back with everything she had, even though she was losing strength. The man was big, but Sam was ruthless. As he started choking her, Sam whispered, "You're not a killer." He hesitated. He looked like he was waiting for something, and then he said, "It's almost over." Sam didn't argue, because the truth was, Sam was the one who had escaped the psychiatric hospital. She thought of her little brother as the main course. And the man she threw down the stairs, he was just the nanny hired to care for Logan. By the time Logan's parents returned home, their son was gone, and Sam had already fled the scene before she could enjoy the dinner she had prepared so perfectly. Now, standing in the morgue, Sam told Montgomery this story like it was nothing. She came here for one reason, to find Logan's body. Even though it had been a week, she still wanted to leave a souvenir. Montgomery was horrified. He begged Sam to let him go, but Sam smiled and said, "Only the dead can keep a secret." She thought killing Montgomery would solve everything, but what she didn't know was that Montgomery couldn't be killed. This was no ordinary morgue. Every corpse had a tale to tell, and Montgomery had one too. He had been waiting for someone to take his place, and finally, someone had come. Sam tried to escape, but she couldn't. No matter where she turned, it was like running in circles. One by one, the children she had consumed came back for her. They tore her apart. After her death, Montgomery carefully stitched her body back together. Only then did he leave the morgue. Now it was Sam's turn to stay behind. Unless she could find someone else to take her place, she would be trapped here forever.